Welcome to 2024 and welcome back to Get Good at Golf. Hi everyone, my name is James Robinson, and this year if you want to do just that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and throw a like on this video. So the first week here of 2024, we are going to talk a little bit more about the intricacies of the simplicity of golf. Now I'm well aware that I've overdone that with the terminology. That was a lot, wasn't it, Chris, to be fair?
It was.
But guys, today we're going to talk about footwork, and we're going to go through the basics gradually throughout the start of 2024, because I'm well aware that, like me, a lot of you may not have touched a golf club for a while. You may have had too much to eat, too much to drink, and just enjoyed yourself a bit too much. So we're going to kick things off with footwork, and for me footwork is one of the first things that can start to go awry in the golf swing. You'll see I've got an 8-iron here, and say if I just come back from my off-season break and start trying to play shots here, footwork can get a bit lazy, the stance can get a bit wide, and it might cost us distance. I've hit an 8-iron there that's carried 101 yards and gone 112 yards total. Now for me, that's not something that you want to be doing. You want to make sure that not only are you treating the off-season with the respect of keeping your game where it was so you don't revert back, but you also want to make sure you're pushing forward. So how can I do that with the correct footwork? So first of all, I want to make sure that it's the right width. The right width is always important, and that's going to deviate depending what club you are using. Because I've got a mid-iron, I know that I want to be just about shoulder width apart, maybe a little bit narrower, because if I'm too wide, it's going to restrict momentum, it's going to restrict movement, and I'm not going to be able to turn as far as I want to, hence why I got an okay strike on that opening shot of 2024, but the club head speed wasn't there, so we didn't get the ball speed, and ultimately we didn't get the distance. So if I stand just a little bit narrower here, I make sure the ball position is good. One thing I would always recommend when you are getting yourself back into the game, or you are going to practice at all, is have an alignment stick down. Even if you're at a driving range, even if you're on a range mat and you feel like you know exactly where your ball position is, the best players in the world will always have an alignment stick or a golf club down there, just as a little bit of point of reference. It's not going to hurt you, and it will certainly help making sure you get that consistency level. So ball position is going to be just forward of centre, and then I know I'm going to have my handle forward. Now the stance width is better. You'll notice this swing, I can swing a little bit further, I can get more rotation, and from there I can strike the ball a lot better. I've shut the face down on there, but as you can see, that's carried 157 yards, going 170 almost total. So what happened there? Why did I rotate the hands around? Because stance width is key, but it's also how we use the footwork in the golf swing to mean we hit straight golf shots. So on that shot there, what happened was I loaded up nicely to the top of my backswing, but then I didn't get my weight back onto my left side, and I actually hung back a little bit off it. That means the club's then going to rotate too much around. That's why it came out a little bit lower. It came out a little bit lower spin because I de-lofted it, and it actually went a little bit far for me for an 8-iron, to be honest. So let's make sure that I use that footwork properly. I get that handle slightly forward, and you can see now a lovely fade just down the middle of that fairway. That's pitching pretty much bang on the 150, a little shy of, and going 156 total. So now those numbers for me are starting to be better. They're starting to be more where I would want them. So just by having the correct footwork, I can start to pick and choose what I'm practicing, making sure that I do get that a little bit more consistent. Now we've spoken about stance width, and we've spoken about how you want to move through the ball, making sure that pressure moves from right to left. Now what if we start looking at how your footwork actually plays a huge impact in the way the club travels through the ball? So say if I have my right foot back here and I'm working on some different shots, look how that ball moves from right to left in the air there. That's primarily because of my angle of my feet and the way that I'm stood. So my alignment isn't how I would want it to be. And you can see on the bottom, the club is moving out to the right. On the same hand, if I have my left foot back here, ball position's still good, but then I start to just cut across that ball, you'll see that ball moving from left to right in the air. It's actually finished quite central because we have plenty of loft on this club. But as soon as you start moving up through the bag into the lower lofted clubs, then generally that's when you see that ball move a lot more as well. So let's make sure that not only do we have an alignment stick for ball position here, but I might also just have a spare golf club that I can throw down here. And I'm not saying you want to stand absolutely bang square every time, because that's not always the case. Sometimes you want to make sure that my right foot is back a little bit. Maybe I'm working on more of an out to in path. I'm trying to eradicate that slice from my game. That's always important to make sure that you have the correct foot alignment, also the correct shoulder alignment. But also, I just want to make sure I'm consistent, because when it comes back to golf courses reopening again in 2024, which hopefully for us won't be too long, but it is hammering it down outside there now, I want to know where I'm aiming. I want to know that I can stand there and pick a target and go for it, and that's really going to help hit much better golf shots down that fairway, strike the ball better, and ultimately get good at golf. Guys, make sure you do join us tomorrow, because we're going to continue the basics for you to get yourself back into the game, get yourself better, and ultimately get good at golf. See you then.